Здравствуйте, дорогие мои! Мы начинаем прохождение этой прекрасной игры. Она была создана в 1995 году. Прошло 20 лет, столько возможностей, столько усовершенствований, а нарисовать более красивого так почти никому и не удалось. Это игра из серии квеста с небольшим экшеном. Это очень прекрасная игра. Начинаем.
Paris, city of love, romance and dreams. So they say. I used to say it too, but ever since that day, the day of the murder, I've always associated my beloved Paris with death. I was at home having a bath when my editor called.
Caller, get your ass over to the Palais Royal now. You got an interview. With Pierre Carchon. Yes, the Pierre Carchon. No photos, so leave your gear at home. He asked for you personally. Don't ask me why. Anyhow, this could be big, so if he makes a pass, don't forget. Just smile, say yes, and keep taking notes.
So charming and so very apt. Pierre Carchon was a media king, a national hero, and one of the most infamous adulterers in Europe. He and his wife Imelda were just one step down from royalty. Whoa, I hate mimes, but unless you humor them, they don't go away. Here I was, the palace of the Media King and the Ice Queen. I pressed the doorbell and set in motion a chain of events which would change my life forever.
Yes? What is it?
Madame, my name is Nico Collard. I'm here to see Monsieur Carchon.
Come up, we're on the first floor.
Madame Carchon, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I'm sure.
The Ice Queen was certainly living up to her reputation. Will you be staying for the interview?
Mademoiselle, I know little of my husband's business affairs, and I care even less. I certainly have no intention of watching him pore over yet another pretty little journalist.
Pretty? You're too kind, madame.
The talented and very beautiful Mademoiselle Collard. Such a pleasure to meet you at last.
Monsieur Carchon, I am honored.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Call me Pierre, please. But I do not flatter you idly. I was a friend of your father. He was a great man.
My father, he never mentioned.
He and I were very close. And then his death. So tragic. I must... Imelda, your damned cat's in my study again. Another Ming vase, I suppose. Excuse me for one moment, my dear girl.
You journalists are getting younger each year.
Perhaps it's the rest of the world getting older, madame. That was no cat.
God, what? Monsieur Carchon!
He's dead. I must call the police. You'd better stay here.
There was a man. It was the mime. Do you think he...
Well, I believe we can rule out suicide, don't you?
No wonder they called her the Ice Queen. She would have been top of my list of suspects if I hadn't seen the attacker myself. And if I hadn't come across a couple of murders just like this already. One of the most important men in Europe murdered. And here was I, Nico Coulard, alone at the scene of the crime. Should I wait for the cops? Or start my own investigation? It was a no-brainer.
Лихо закручен сюжет. Ну что ж, начало мы проглядели. Более-менее все понятно. Здесь идет подсказка, как пользоваться инструментами, дневниками. Можно попросить разгадку головоломки, вам немного помогут. Но это изменить выход, все остальное прочее. Ну что ж, начинаем. Квест есть квест. Как обычно, надо смотреть все, что хорошо и плохо. Начнем с трупа.
Mimes and guns don't usually go together, but I had an idea that this was no ordinary mime. I'd come across this murderer before, and written about him. The costume killer, at least that's what I'd called him. Some people hate searching corpses for clues. Me, I'm okay with it. Reminds me of an old boyfriend.
Юмор присутствует, это уже хорошо. Забираем.
In his pocket, I found a ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. Taking the ticket meant I tampered with the evidence. There was no going back now. Carchon had been shot.
Вот это надо тоже забрать.
It was one of my hair clips. My favorite, in fact. It must have fallen when I was knocked down.
Здесь можем посмотреть, что у нас имеется. Билет, заколка. Здесь будет показано бюсты, книги. Можно потыкаться, но я иду дальше. Интересует...
A small round piece of glass had been cut out of the pane. This was a professional job.
Интересует в основном шестеренки.
I didn't want to cut myself and leave blood on the glass. Call me old-fashioned, but I like to keep my DNA to myself. The killer must have used a ladder to reach the window. He was long gone. Guess he folded that ladder up, popped it in his pocket and took it with him. The police could turn up at any minute. Somewhere there were clues to the murder, and I needed to find them.
Не знаю, как вас, но меня эта игрушка завораживает с самого начала. Какой прекрасный гобелен.
A medieval pageant. Original, no doubt. The tapestry must have cost a fortune.
Забираем.
I reckoned that cloth might just turn out to be useful.
Ух ты. А тут уже и ключик. И как-то надо открыть его.
Even my fingernail wouldn't fit into such a small hole.
Рюкзак. Достаем заколку.
Aha! Nico, you are just so damn good at this stuff. Instead of comforting Imelda, I was ransacking her flat. Why? Because there was something going on here, and I had to get answers before the cops arrived. And hey, she'd been rude to me, so she had it coming.
Конечно, хотелось бы пройти вот в эту дверь, но, скорее всего, она будет закрыта.
The door was locked.
Поэтому нам не избежать разговора со вдовой. Сначала мы заберем некоторые предметы, которые по пути попадаются.
It was a tube of acrylic paint. French ultramarine. Just the color I was after for my bathroom.
I'm sorry, I have to go. Someone is...
Young lady, what are you doing?
Oh, this paint. It's my favorite color.
For God's sake, keep the damn stuff.
В этой игре лучше перебрать, чем не добрать. Потом придется возвращаться, опять брать то, что не забрано, и опять идти по сюжету. Поэтому уж собирайте все, что вам более-менее
Imelda had
необходимо.
talent, but I certainly wasn't going to tell her that.
Ну что ж, начнем разговор.
Excuse me, madame.
Yes?
Здесь обозначена тема разговора. Муж, отец, мим. Начнем по порядку.
No, you're not. You're a journalist. Journalists don't feel sorry.
Not true.
We shall see.
Why did your husband send for me? What did he want to discuss?
I have no idea. His business was his business.
He never told you anything.
No, and frankly, I preferred it that way.
How did your husband know my father?
I have no idea.
You didn't know him? Thierry Collard?
Pierre knew a lot of people I didn't know, most of them women.
Why would a mime want to kill your husband?
Pierre had plenty of enemies. Half the husbands in Paris for a start. This is quite a scoop for you. I suppose you're already inventing the headlines.
Just because I am a journalist.
Don't patronize me. You're all cut from the same cloth. Do you have any moral sense at all?
Вот это окошечко предназначено для того, чтобы Николь ответила, есть в ней мораль или нет. То есть, ну, вы сами понимаете, черт и не черт. Выбирайте сами, как захотите. Лучше работать позитивно.
Yes, that's why I do this job.
You do it to see your name in print.
As if my editor gets the byline, I just do the work.
Well, don't expect my sympathy.
The police will be here soon, madame. Is there anybody you would like me to contact? Family, friends?
No, I have no family. Pierre and I were... He was all I had, really. Not much, was it? The dutiful wife. That was my role. He never talked, never let me in.
I know one thing, madame.
What?
If you want to find out who killed your husband, then you let me do the job, not the police.
Why? How do I know I can trust you?
Your husband invited me here today because he needed me. I think he knew somebody wanted to kill him, and he knew I could help.
I doubt it was your database he was after.
You're wrong. I was onto his killers already, I am sure of it. Please, you owe it to him.
I don't know.
All I need is a few more minutes to look around before the police come.
You really do have a moral sense, don't you? I trust so few people. And perhaps Pierre really did think that you could help. Of course it wouldn't have stopped him seducing you too. Here, take this. It's the key to the drawing room next to the library at the end of the hall. It was Pierre's room. I rarely went in there. I couldn't. I was too scared of what I might find.
Thank you. I promise you won't regret this.
Получили ключ. Теперь посмотрим, чего она так боялась в этой комнате. Да, бегать по этой игре мне не хочется. Но если вам так захочется, то в продолжении вы сможете побегать. Достаем ключ.
Now we were getting somewhere. The painting showed the Cajons together, in love. As the poet said, the past is a different country. Or did I read that in a fortune cookie?
Прошлое — это другая страна.
There was the very faintest of clicks. Behind the picture was a safe.
Ну что ж, попробуем вот этим ключом.
In the safe was some kind of artifact. There were strange symbols on its surface. It looked like the printer's blocks I'd made at art school. If there was one thing I'd learned about symbols, they are always important. But these symbols scratched into stone were impossible to read. I needed to find a way of printing them. At least the stone was round. But what could I use for ink? And what could I print on? Sure, I was stealing, but I knew Imelda didn't know about the artifact, and Carchon was past caring. This wasn't the time for me to lie on the sofa doing my Marie Antoinette impression, though it is very popular at parties, especially with gay guys. Don't ask me why.
Очень бы хотел спросить, почему? Чем она так их располагает?
As expected, the desk was yet another priceless antique. Yawn. The blotter and in tray had clearly been placed with mathematical precision. My heart skipped a beat. It was a carved elephant. But not just any carved elephant. It had been made by my father. I knew for certain because in my apartment I had its exact twin, carved into a box he had made. So Carchon had known my father. They really must have been friends. I decided to take the carved elephant. It clearly meant nothing to Imelda.
Итак, нам надо попробовать определить, что же находится на этом артефакте. У нас имеется лист бумаги.
I didn't need a sheet of blotting paper. Not while it was blank.
И лоток. Мы делаем просто. Берем краску.
I'd spread blue paint over the bottom of the tray. It was ruined. I was a very bad, bad girl, but also quite a clever one.
Дальше все просто.
I rolled the artifact in the paint until it was completely coated.
И как она не испачкалась вся.
Genius! The roller and the paint worked just as I planned, but what did it say?
Получаем отпечаток. И забираем.
It was some kind of coded message. It read, sub judice. I may not have learned a lot as a journalist, but that was a term I knew well. It means a legal case that is before the courts. Below it was a sequence of letters that made no sense. I suddenly realized there was a connection between the boat ticket and the coded message. The boat ticket was stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. The Conciergerie on the Ile de la Cité, by the river, house the ancient law courts. So, sub judice could, in this case, mean literally under the law courts, below the conciergerie. I was pretty sure I'd found all I could here. And besides, all this opulence was making me pine for my regular life of poverty. This was a huge story. It was also one heck of a puzzle with a lot of pieces missing. But I was going to crack it. And if I could just remember the name of that fancy prize you get for being an ace journalist, I was definitely going to win it this time.
Здесь можно посмотреть все события. Нужно сходить на набережную Сити под консьержа. Ну что ж, идем.
Did you find anything useful?
This carving. Do you know anything about it?
It was Pierre's. What does the statue have to do with...
Please, I need to know.
He was given it by a friend. Something to do with Africa.
He never explained any more.
No. But I think it was important to him. Always on display. Why?
It was carved by my father.
Oh, I see. I didn't know.
Imelda, I will do everything I can to find the killer.
Thank you, my dear.
And if the police ask...
Don't worry. You were never here.
Sub judice was the key. I was going to have to find a way under the conciergerie. I decided to head straight for the quayside on the Ile de la Cité. If there was a way of getting under the conciergerie, it would have to be from there.
Carchon wasn't the type for messing about on the river. He was up to something down here. Something that got him killed. The fence wouldn't move.
Поищем дальше.
I tried pushing the fence, but it wouldn't move. A strange pair of locks stopped the latches from releasing the gate.
Посмотрим. Если хочется заняться игрой в пятнашки, ну это для любителя. Туда, сюда, сюда, туда. А можно сделать по-другому. Берем подсказку и начинаем ее, так сказать, апгрейдивать. Вот вам ответ. Вот секрет, который производители замка встроили в систему. Наведите курсор на левую границу экрана, нажмите левую кнопку мыши и перетащите мышь справа налево, чтобы открыть замок. Ну что ж, так и пробуем. Зажимаем. Есть контакт. Переходим к этой. Аналогичные действия. Левой кнопкой мыши. Что-то слабо получается. Получилось.
For a room full of junk, that was one very sophisticated lock system. This place was definitely fishy. In more ways than one.
Забыл посмотреть вот на это.
The cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before. It was embroidered on the lace cloth I'd picked up at Carchon's apartment. I knew I was on the right track.
Интересно, как посмотреть на эту салфетку?
Rolling out the painted
Так вот.
cylinder had given me a print of a secret message. It read, Sub Judice. Below
Два
it was
раза.
a sequence of letters. S, D, S, S, D, S, S.
2 раза правой кнопкой мыши.
Rolling out the painted cylinder had given me a print of a secret message. It read, Sub Judice. Below it was a sequence of letters. S.
Так, пойдемте.
Oops.
Вот у нас что-то есть.
An old shell case. I wondered what that was doing there.
Подобрали. Так, нам надо открыть. Нам надо открыть эту дверь. Чем мы ее можем открыть? Попробовать вот этим ключом? Вряд ли. Вряд ли. Значит, только цилиндр.
Mystery solved. Carchon's stone cylinder slotted into the hole with a satisfying click. The words sinister and Dexter were carved on either side. Now any good convent girl like me knows the old Roman for left, right. But what did it mean here?
Левый, правый, левый, правый, правый, левый. Смотрим на ту салфетку, которая нам отпечаталась.
Rolling out the painted cylinder had given me a print of a secret message. It read, Sub Judice. Below it was a sequence of letters. S, D, S, S, D, S, S.
Еще раз
Rolling
включаем,
out the painted
смотрим.
cylinder had given me
Левый,
a print of a
правый,
secret
левый,
message.
левый,
It
правый,
read,
левый,
Sub
левый.
Judice. Below it was a sequence of letters.
Так и делаем. Левая.
A satisfying click told me I turned it to the right position. It felt like dollars in a safe.
Правая.
Another click. Another step closer.
Левая. Левая. Правая. И опять 2 левых.
I love the sound of locks clicking open.
Не забудем забрать. Он еще пригодится.
I removed the stone cylinder.
Так, что нам теперь делать? Вот у нас имеется единственная подсказка. Идем к ней.
Oh my god! The slab came down with a hell of a force.
Нам надо как-то ее удержать, потому что если мы отпустим, закроется вот эта панель. Попробуем этим.
This wouldn't hold the cross up. But I was on the right track. I needed to use something sturdier.
Ну, значит, попробуем гильзой.
The stone cross was propped up. Now I was getting somewhere.
Здесь, скорее всего, опять нужен артефакт.
The artifact slotted into the hole perfectly. Behind the old walls, I could hear some kind of mechanism groaning into life, but whatever had been triggered had now jammed.
Смотрим подсказочку. Нужно подпереть чем-то твердым и плоским. Попробуйте сплющить эту вещь, а у нас только гильза. Ну, в общем, все подсказки. Значит, гильза нам опять нужна. И для того, чтобы ее сплющить, эта дверь должна подняться. Поэтому мы вынимаем вот это.
I removed the shell case.
Так. Теперь нам надо положить гильзу. Попробовать поднять крест.
Lifting the cross closed the entrance door
Ну, это все.
and also opened some kind of stone panel. Ingenious.
Идем
With
сюда, забираем
nothing to hold it up, the cross dropped back down again.
то, что нам надо.
The stone slab had flattened one end of the shell case. I removed the shell case. The cross didn't drop back down. Some kind of mechanism was holding it up. Another good use for a shell case. Another secret room. Somebody had something to hide. But was it what I was looking for?
Если сейчас заберем цилиндр, дверь, наверное, скорее всего, опять закроется.
Wow. Through the darkness, I could see that this was a stateroom. But for what purpose? And how did it tie in with Carchon?
В темноте квесты проигрывать довольно сложно, поэтому у нас здесь там что-то мигало. Надо посмотреть, что.
Amazing. The thing still worked. The room lit up bright as day.
Интересно.
A door like that always has something important behind it. I had to find a way to unlock it.
Ну, скорее всего, опять нужен цилиндр. Ну, попробуем его забрать. Хотя это, скорее всего, нам не поможет. Как мы только заберем, все закроется по новой. По новой придется опять все делать. Я так и думал. Да. Ну да, сейчас фигушки. Да, как же нам его получить обратно? Вот здесь подсказок нет, наверное. Ну, это ящики стола. Обыщите, найдите шифрованную записку. Это не здесь, это там. Но вот как нам тот сейф открыть? Резным слоником? Скорее всего, вряд ли. Да, никак.
A door like that always has something important behind it. I had to find a way to unlock it.
Да это тоже вряд ли. Ну это уж совсем вряд ли. Ладно, идем к тем столам. Нам что-то сказано там поискать. Что у нас здесь, кстати?
I wasn't going to find anything in this old desk. It hadn't been used for years.
Почему нельзя просто посмотреть?
I wasn't going to find anything in this old desk. It hadn't been used for years.
Хорошо.
The flags had faded, but their message was still pretty clear. Fascist regalia, a message of hate. It was pretty clear from the lack of dust that someone had been working very recently at this desk. Oh my God! The sheet was a printout with my personal information. Everything from my favorite food to my waist size. They were right about chocolate. But come on, guys, I'm a size 10. There was even a picture of me, taken with a telephoto lens. Carchon wouldn't have taken these pictures himself. This was big. And organized. I was part of it. And people were getting murdered. This was the article I'd written about the costume killer. My suspicions were right. Carchon had cut it out. 2 businessmen had been killed. One in Italy, one in Japan. In each case the killer had worn a costume. A penguin, and then a snowman. But that wasn't the only link between the 2 murders. Both the victims had been big media do-gooders. And I proved they were just the opposite. So, how did they fit in with Carchon? My articles about the costume killer. My articles about the costume killer. The dregs at the bottom of the mug hadn't dried out or gone mouldy. It wasn't more than a day old. Inside the drawer, I found a note, written in some kind of code.
Давайте посмотрим, что за код. Ну тут не явно. Явно надо идти сюда. Иначе тут можно протыкаться. Получаем. Да, маловато. Еще. Ой-е. Да, действительно. Встречаются. Первое слово Пьер. Оно даст вам 4 правильные буквы. Уже легче. Полный отчет последует позже. Первое слово. Ну вот это уже совсем легко. Что ж, начнем. Пьер, полный отчет последует позже. Так. Если это П, то мы нажимаем и нажимаем на этот знак, только не здесь, а вот в этой. Это шрифт, а здесь вот идет разгадка, расшифровка. Так, где у нас этот знак? Где? Вот он. Вот все буквы высвечиваются. Вторая буква Е. Мягкий знак. Значит, нажимаем мягкий знак. И нажимаем ее. Буква Р. По этому символу. А, не буква Р, буква Е. По этому символу открывается буква Е. Естественно, буква Р. По этому символу. Так, полный отчет. Буква О. Ну и так далее. Буква Л. Буква Л, буква Н. Любители шарат и ребусов, наверное, сейчас меня вспоминают хорошими словами. Но для всех остальных прочих уж, извините. Долго бы мы здесь тыкались. Так, буква Т. Буква Ч. Но это последует позже. Буква С. Буква Д. Что-то найти ее не могу. Позже. Где она? А, вот она. Но дело не терпит, скорее всего. Промедление. Скорее всего, буква А. Арно, Ямада. Скорее всего, буква Э. Скорее всего, буква Х. Буква К. Собирался. Ю. Грозит. Буква Ш.
I had decrypted the note. It read, Pierre. Full report to follow. But this is too urgent to wait. Arno and Yamada both dead. This is not a coincidence. Indeed, it seems that all of us who came together in July are in danger. Take great care. X. I wasn't the only one to make the connection between the costume killer murders. I'd been right all along. That was why he had asked to meet me. But what did I know?
Посмотрим дальше.
Damn, don't you just hate it when that happens? A photo, long lost, had fallen down the back of the drawer. It was very old, but there was no mistaking the guy in the foreground. Carchon. Behind him were soldiers, a burning village, and a corpse. The photograph was cropped on the right-hand side. Somebody else in the picture obviously didn't want to be in it anymore. I wasn't surprised. This was Africa in the 60s. An uprising was being brutally suppressed. And here was Mr. Media himself, Carchon, doing the suppressing. The photograph was not just powerful evidence. It was also my ticket to one explosive story. I had enough for a story, an amazing story that was going to make my reputation and blow Carchon's to pieces. I needed to get home fast and start typing.
Ну вот. Как же нам надо было открыть? Сейф не открыли.
Bonsoir, Collard.
Nico, it's Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie, you cracked open the champagne yet?
Are you crazy?
What's wrong? Wait a minute. You didn't print it, did you?
Of course I didn't print.
That's the best piece I've written.
The last, as far as I'm concerned.
It's important.
It's suicidal. You can't destroy a national hero.
He deserved it.
His corpse isn't even cold.
Ronnie, 2 hours ago I told you what I'd found. You loved it. You begged me to write it up immediately.
2 hours is a long time in newspapers, Nico.
Someone's got to you, haven't they?
Listen up, Nicole, and listen good. Pierre Carchon had a lot of friends. Powerful friends. For your own sake.
Forget what happened.
You got it. End of conversation. Good night.
This should have been my big break, but I knew there was nowhere else to sell this story. If Ronnie wouldn't print it, nobody would.
Bonsoir, Collard.
Mademoiselle Collard, my name is Plantard. I need to talk to you about your story. Your Pierre Carchon story.
How did you know about that?
There are people out there, madame, who will be very upset by this story.
Oh, really? Well, it's their lucky day. It's been spiked.
Yes, I know. We must meet.
We must?
I have information relating to your costume killer stories. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., Café de la Chandelle Verte, Rue Alain Court. I shall be wearing a grey overcoat. You must talk to no one about this.
You can't tell me what to...
Tomorrow at 8. I'll be waiting.
People complain about newspaper articles all the time, but not usually before they're printed. I was beginning to feel scared. This guy, Plantard, could I trust him? Should I meet him or forget the whole business? I didn't have an answer.
I'd only been in Paris for a week, but already I'd fallen in love with the city. My latest discovery was a little cafe, La Chandelle Verte. I was pretty sure the waitress was taking a shine to me. That old Stobart charm, I guess. Little did I know my reverie was about to be so rudely interrupted. As I picked myself up, I was really angry. 1 minute I'm on vacation, the next minute some clown's blown me up. I knew right away what I was going to do. I was going to find that clown and bring him to justice. Because justice matters. Justice is up there with liberty, and equality, and, fraternity. After all, that's why I'd studied law, wasn't it? Well, that, and the money, of course.
Кстати, первый вариант этой игры начинался именно со Стобарта. Это уже потом сделали расширенное издание. И я думаю, что мы не открыли тот сейф, нам это дорого обойдется. На этом мы заканчиваем первую часть. До свидания. Следующий будет чуть позже.